Well, welcome everybody. At this time, I'm going to call the business meeting to order. We'll get this thing underway and get us out of here before very long. I'm going to ask Ryan Post to come up here and give us an invocation.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father God, we thank you for this opportunity to be part of such a great organization. An organization that believes in each other, that believes in the cooperative principles. God, we just ask that you would bless us, that you would watch over us, protect us, guide us as we make decisions and as we go about our lives in this great cooperative. God, I pray that you would lead our country, that you would lead our leaders of our country, that you would watch over them, protect them, give them wisdom and discernment as they look to lead us in a way that is good and prosperous. God, I pray for the leaders of this co-op, this board of directors, management, and the employees. God, as we take care and look after the membership and their assets, God, that you would give us wisdom and discernment and making the right decisions for the perpetuation of our cooperative. God, we thank you for the opportunity to meet here today. We thank you for the opportunity to celebrate as one family at an annual meeting. And we look forward to what you'll provide for us in the future. We ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Would you please rise with me and say the Pledge of Allegiance as we lead into it? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Oh, you up? Who's up?
Yep. Good afternoon. As of 12:10 this morning, or this afternoon, we had 1,306 members that had registered, either by voting early or voting here today. The statute requires that we have just right around 300 to meet our quorum based on the size of this co-op, so we do have a quorum to conduct business. Next up, the notice of the meeting was mailed out in the rural Missouri in July, and at this time I would entertain a motion to approve the notice and waive reading of the proof of mailing. Do I have that motion? And a second? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Also, the agenda was mailed out with that notice, and I would entertain at this time a motion to approve the agenda. Do I have that motion? And a second? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, thank you. And now I believe Ryan Post will come up and take care of the next bit of business.
The finances of the cooperative are an interesting thing to dig into and look at. And so I wanted to give you guys some high points just to know how strong our cooperative really is financially. Our cooperative, currently our equity is 53%. That's in the top 5 of the state of Missouri of electric cooperatives. And here's what that means for us. It insulates us against interest rate volatility. It gives us the ability to weather storms like we've had this year. And it gives us the ability to pay back capital credits. By the way, when we pay back capital credits, those are in lieu of paying interest. And so the interesting thing about having a 53% equity is that we get an opportunity to give you back a part of what it means to be a cooperative. And this board of directors has done a great job of doing that. In the last 20 years, we have paid out almost $39 million in capital credits to our membership. And that's quite incredible. So I just want to let you guys know that. Now I got to do real business, but I told them I wouldn't get too off script, right? So we got to get approval of the previous meeting minutes, last year's annual meeting. Can I get a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes? Have a motion? Second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay. Up next is the treasurer's report. I get a motion that we dispense with the reading of the treasurer's report as audited and approve those. I got a motion to get a second. Second. All those in favor? Thank you, guys.
I guess I should let Ryan just go ahead and do this one, huh? Good job. Well, it's time to get a president's report. I don't know exactly what that means, but I have worked on it, tried to decide what's relevant, what to say. But this is what I came up with. This is my favorite part, as you all know. I love being up in front of everybody. This meeting that we're in is really more than a tradition, if you think about it. It's a moment to reflect, to look ahead, and to recognize what makes Ozark Electric so special. And a big part of that are the people that keep the lights on. I want to take a minute right here to thank our employees, the folks in the field, in the offices, and behind the scenes. This past year we faced some serious storms that tore down the lines, poles, and parts of our system. But our crews are amazing in how they put it all back together. They are the brains and the backbone of this cooperative. They work long hours, in bad weather, in the middle of the night, just to keep the power reliable and flowing. So to all of our Ozark Electric employees, thank you for making this thing tick. Now, in the past few years here, we've talked a lot about rates and where they're going and how we do our rate structures and all that stuff. And I'm not going to get into all of that, but I'm going to let you in on a conversation that I had with my cousin in the barn in the afternoon with nothing else to talk about. So we talk about electric rates. And his question to me, or his suggestion to me, was why can't we do the electric rates like we used to? And I said, well, what do you mean? What are you talking about exactly? And he said, back when we paid a minimum amount, and then we got got a number of kilowatt hours for free. And I don't remember doing that, but I bet some of you do. And so it was like, I wonder when that was, and I wonder how it worked, and I wonder if it would work today. So in our searching around, we were able to come up with it is a farm rate schedule from 1972. So back in 1972, for $2.83, you got your first 30 kilowatt hours for free. Or that's how they sold it. But if you really break it down like we have to today, and we put out everything, what every kilowatt hour costs, what every option is, those 30 kilowatt hours would cost 74 cents in today's dollars. That doesn't seem real inexpensive to me right now. But if you compare that to today, that same rate schedule with our average bill in this co-op is for 1,200 kilowatt hours. In 1972, that would have cost you $23.69, which I would love to go back to $23.69 for 1,200 kilowatt hours. But that's equal to about $185 today for that same, or about 15.1 cents per kilowatt hour. So if you really take what it costs today for that 1,200 kilowatt hours and our demand charge that we have on, it's not very much more than that. It's really close. And that is paying that, what we pay today as opposed to that $185. And I'm saying that that's pretty stable from 1972 to now, based on all the things that have changed over those 50 years or however many years that's been ago, a long time ago. But I'm saying that didn't happen by an accident. It happened because of the smart planning of this board and of your co-op throughout those years, the long-term thinkings that they had, and putting the needs of their members first. Even with all the charges all the changes over the past 50 years, federal regulations, rising costs, inflation, we've kept the rates fair and affordable. That's the power of local control. That's the strength of your cooperative. This past year, we've made some solid progress on keeping this thing going too. We've upgraded 40 plus miles of line, modernized substations for growth, returned capital credits to the members, improved outage response times, and expanded tools like Smart Hub, outage texting, and usage tracking. We've stayed focused on our core job, safe, reliable, and affordable power. Now let's talk about what's coming up. As you all know and have heard in all the news, demand is rising. After years of flat usage, we're seeing big growth from data centers, artificial intelligence, electric vehicles, and new industries. And national forecasts are forecasting a 20 to 30% growth in demand over the next decade. Our job, I feel, is to make sure that we ensure that rural Missouri is part of this plan and part of this not getting left behind by big business is what I think could happen. The technology is advancing faster than we've ever thought. We're in particular watching small modular nuclear reactors for generation. Grid scale batteries is a topic that everybody's talking about. And AI powered load control. And we even have on our board now a person who is, I'm going to call him a residential load control expert. And that's Scott. Where's Scott? Scott Mahaffey. If you have any load control stuff you need at your house, get a hold of him. He can show you how to monitor it and what you need to do to get it down. In saying all that, I'm going to say that we don't chase trends really, but we do act on technology where we can save our members some money. And along with all the technology comes what we all know of the security and resilience of our systems have to be a top priority. So we invest a lot of money in cybersecurity, physical grid protection, and storm and emergency response. We're planning not just for today, but for tomorrow and beyond. The cooperatives, they're just different. The technology may change, politics may shift, but our mission stays the same. I've heard it said here several times, but we don't serve Wall Street, we serve your street. You can count on us for fair, transparent rates, reliable infrastructure, smart tools, and a strong voice for rural communities. This cooperative, Ozark Electric, belongs to you all. And it's our privilege to sit up here on this board to help protect and lead it forward. I thank you for all your trust you've placed in us, and we'll try to keep earning it with transparency, integrity, and vision. May God bless you, and may God bless this Ozark Electric. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Okay, I do the thank yous to everyone today. First, I'd like to thank John Davis, sitting back there in the back, and his team for putting this thing together. It takes a lot of coordination, a lot of phone calls. It starts months and months and months and months prior to us getting here, and basically, how many hours are we here today? A few hours, but there's tons of work behind the scenes for John and his people to take care of this. Secondly, all of the blue shirts up high. You know, all of our employees, they not only put power lines back together, calculate bills, but they put on a heck of an annual meeting. Okay, so great job. Thank you guys. I also like to thank the law enforcement that comes and looks after us today, the school board and the administration for allowing us to be here. And you didn't see it out there today, but those of you that are here, okay, I want you to keep in touch with us throughout the next year. If you're local, then you know what's getting ready to happen here on this campus. Out here where we were doing all of our registration, to the north of that green area there, the lawn that's so nice, that's going to get a performing arts center for the students of this school. And it's going to take up a massive portion of that out front. It's going to be a great thing for the community, great thing for the kids. But not so great for laying out one of these gigs that we all enjoy every year. So we're going to be monitoring what it looks like, what how much material is going to be laid out. We know it certainly will still be under construction this time next year. So if we have to do something alternate to this, either an alternate location or a hybrid type of meeting, something virtual, please, we'll be putting that information of what we're looking at in your rural Missouri Electric Sparks in the written area, and we'll do it on Facebook, and we'll put it on our webpage. And so we'll let you know how that's going. If it's under construction and they've got a lot of equipment, and even if they say, we'll take off for the day so you guys can come in here, but there's all kinds of construction site stuff out there, and we don't think that we can do it safely because we're not going to do it if you guys are going to show up and face possible harm, okay? So that's what we're contending with. So I'm telling you that today, and the board will continue to watch that along with staff and communications with the school to let us know how that's progressing, okay? The next thing I would like to cover is that we have some special attendees here today, 3 of them. We have 3 Ozark Electric employees that this is their last annual meeting. They'll be putting on one of our shirts and coming here and helping you guys out. Now, they can always come and visit, because I see Philip back there, Ray back there, I see Jimmy over there, I saw Rick Sims earlier. So you can retire and come back, you just don't have to work. We'll serve you guys. And that's Kent Rust with 30 years. Kent. Billy Bella, 24 years. Cindy Enix, 37. Okay, so as we get to this time of the year, I have you all in this place, and I try to figure out, just like Steve said, what's important. And everybody is, what's the state of electricity? What's the state of power? What's going on? Okay, so if you watch the news at all, you're hearing a lot about it. In some of my videos that I've done, I said that, we had an election, we've got a new president. His administration has declared that there's an energy emergency in the United States. Do those of you in here know what an energy emergency is? How does this impact us? That's what you want to know, right? When your president of your country says there's an energy emergency, you're like, well, what is that? How does that affect me? Well, I can shed some light on that. There's a lot of pressure on America's grid right now. And I know that there's differing opinions on action that the co-op has taken over the last year or two concerning rates and rate recovery, cost recovery, some of the pressures that we have that are coming on. And if you look around, I've talked to a lot of people over the last year, and what I ask them to do is widen their gaze. Look at our neighbors, look at our competitors, look throughout the region, look throughout the country, and see that these things are pressing into all sectors of electric utility companies. We're not the only ones that are scrambling to do this. The pressure is real, and it's realized here locally by us. Because you know what? we're connected to transmission company. We have a power generation provider. They're looking to try and bring on more resources, more generation plants to power just the organic, normal growth that we're doing. Any hands in here? Anybody have a data center? Anybody here have a data center in their backyard that you're needing us to hook up to? Have you heard about them? Raise your hand if you've heard about a data center. Know what I'm even talking about? It's a big deal. One data center can be anywhere from 250 megawatts to 500 megawatts. A power plant puts out 250 to 300, maybe 500 megawatts if it's just a massive power plant, okay? So what's happening across the country is that all the power providers, the ones that take care of us too, they're scrambling to take care of just our growth because Ozark Electric continues to grow. It's a good challenge. We're growing, means more miles of line to take care of, manage, look out for. We have an aging infrastructure because this is our 89th annual meeting. We've been around a while. And some of you would probably argue, yeah, the original pole is on my property, you need to come change it. I get it. Yeah, we'd like to do that for you, okay? So we have all these pressures that are coming. The growth that Ozark Electric has experienced has instigated the necessity to put a new substation over in the battlefield area called Pebble Creek. That takes money. We've had growth in the Clever area. We need to upgrade 2 of the feeders out of that substation to take care of the power quality that we need to provide for you because you deserve it. That's an outlay. We've got 2 massive lake crossing projects that are taking place down at Table Rock Lake. All these things come and land on the table in the boardroom, and we wrestle with how we're going to do that. Everything that gets done when they decide, okay, we've got 3 power plants that are going to be coming online, a potential 2 more, so 5 possibly in the next 6 to 8 years. I had a member say, well, that's great, that's going to make my kilowatt hour charge go down. It's going to make my electric bill go down. I said, actually, the converse is true. When they decide to do that, it costs money. The first 2 they got in under the gun before tariffs and all that kind of stuff happened, so you're looking at about a cool $1 billion to do 2 of those. The ones that will come after that are going to be $600 to $700 million per unit. Now, they can do some marketing things and do some off-system sales and try and help offset that. But when you're talking about, a couple $1 billion, those of you that are sitting in here, we will fund it. We will. Because that's the way it is, whether it's us, whether it's Liberty, whether it's CU, whether it's an RTO, which is a regional transmission organization that surrounds the state of Missouri. They're facing it too. And what they do is they decide to do it. So there's an outlay of capital investment at the power plant. Then you got to connect to that power plant. So the transmission company, our power provider's got to build new line to it or reconductor or redesign what they have to be able to put their arms around it and deliver it to us. And then it's us. Because I'm on the co-op too. My bill is going to pay for the transmission upgrades and extensions, and my bill that I pay is going to pay for taking care of making sure there's enough generation plants churning out power in our region for us to have electricity. That's the chain that we're all part of, that it hits home right here. And these folks that are elected behind me wrestle with that and how to do that in a way that aligns with how we get billed. Because our bill that comes in, that I get, hits my desk every month, and it's $3.5 million this month, or it's 3.8 that month. Maybe it's right at 3 in a light month. They got to figure out how are we gonna pay that. What are the price points? And they're sending us signaling from our power provider on where the importance of the financial challenge is. What I would say about data centers, and Missouri is a popular place. I can tell you that in the energy sector, Missouri, being in the center part of the country, and what our rates are, we're attractive to the folks that would be doing that. The Bill Gateses, and Jeff Bezos, and Scott Zuckerbergs, and whoever else is doing that stuff. They like that. So we're a target. But here's what I will tell you about the first tier, the 3-tier system at Associated, who generates power for us. Under their leadership, of the leadership of David Tudor and their executive team, they're taking a very cautious approach to engaging with any data center type of discussion. Because what my position and the position of the board when we go to the statewide things or the organizational things is to impress upon them that, listen, hey, don't get so enticed by the load and size and magnitude of a data center, and it becomes so sexy that you run toward that and you forget about the people that I'm talking to that are in this room. And so we have assurances, and they're going through a very deliberate plan and approach and contractual drafting of what it would look like to engage with somebody to do that. And they want to make sure to build out enough power plants to take care of who's in here first. Take care of who's sitting in this building before you go and race to connect to a digital load that none of us raised our hand that we were a part of, unless you're a stockholder and some of that stuff. But so we have those assurances. But I tell you that because regardless, we had an election today, right? And we're going to find out what those results are as soon as I shut up. Okay? But here's the thing. The pressures that I'm talking about, that are in the generation world, that are in the transmission world, and that are also here locally on Ozark Electric's plate, regardless of who sits around the table, they're going to be faced with these challenges. They're going to be faced with what do we do to align and create a cost recovery based on how we're being billed that makes sense, that stabilize and make sure that we're financially viable and rock solid going forward to be able to face troubled times. Okay? That's the strategy. That's what the folks that you're electing are doing for you by being connected to what's happening at those different meetings, at those different levels, finding out how it impacts us. Because, guys, they would be failing you or failing us if they didn't go and listen to those organizational things. If they just did the local thing here, and if I just did the local thing here, and I didn't know what was happening to my power provider and the pressures that they're facing, and the pressures by deregulate or by regulating and shutting down some of our mainstream and hardcore delivery of what we do for electricity. They have that obligation, and they do that to the best of their ability. Lastly, I can't leave the podium today without, I hope, inspiring you by the life of somebody that I admire very much. He's sitting to my left. He's the last guy on the end of the row. David Trogdon, District 3 Director, is resigning. He's stepping down. He's retiring. He didn't go up for election today. Misty and Dustin ran for his position today. And I will tell you that he has served you and your parents and your grandparents probably for 48 years. That's 16 elections. That guy's been elected 16 times. 16 times, and being elected every 3 years isn't a life appointment. But I think the district thinks very highly of him, or he wouldn't show up and keep showing up on our board. He's been the president of Ozark Electric's board. He was the trustee that is elected by our local board to go down I-44 to Veneta to represent Ozark Electric interests at KMO, our power provider. He was there, served as Secretary-Treasurer, Vice President, and was ultimately the president of the board at KMO. And so he's helped me a lot in the 12 years I've been blessed to be able to do this. He's taught me so much. His career has spanned really hard things. He's seen and been through difficult times at the co-op. He's never wavered from it. His loyalty has never faltered. His voice and opinion to do maybe sometimes the hard things, but what's the best thing for Our Lady, the co-op. He taught me that. He taught me that, part of my responsibility as the general manager is to put my own opinion about my bill and what I'd like to pay in my pocket and come and take a look at what does the co-op, Our Lady of the Co-op, what does she need to make sure that she is sound and fiscally responsible and ready to charge into the future to meet future promises to members that are not even on our system yet. And I owe a lot of that to David Trogan. David's he's got a good sense of humor. We joke a lot. He's probably, well, I won't tell all the stories I know about him, but there was one story that I will tell about David. We go down once a month to Veneta, right? And you get off at Veneta and you got to pay the toll. And raise your hand if you know the device I'm talking about. You remember the device that was made out of rubber and it was oblong and it had a slit, and if you squeeze it like this, coins came out of it? It was the coin purse, right? Yeah, David had one of those, and he would put our toll in that every month. And he'd fish it out. And we'd pay the lady and we'd go to the meeting. Well, I decided that I would get a Pike Pass. Who has a Pike Pass? You know what a Pike Pass is? Just a little piece of tape that they smash onto your windshield underneath the mirror, and then you just buzz right through the thing. So I thought I'd play a trick on David. I said, man, David, have you ever seen that movie, Thelma and Louise? He goes, yeah, that's the one with the ladies that go off the... I was like, man, I think we should just Thelma and Louise this thing. And I don't even think these cameras work. I don't think the automatic thing works. I don't even think they'll find us. He's like, oh, I don't know. So I just go and drive right through it. He grabs my leg. He's concerned that we're going to get apprehended by the local police. And he's like, you got to turn this thing around. We got to turn ourselves in. What have you done? I can't believe you did that. And I said, David, look underneath the mirror. Oh, you got me. And so I didn't lose my job over it. So he had a good sense of humor. But he's always been a big supporter of mine, a good champion of mine. He has watched my kids grow up. He cheers for them. He has seen my grandkids now come onto the planet. And I know that he means a lot to the guys that have been on this board. In my 12 years, David will be the 7th director that's resigned or retired and stepped down to allow someone else to come in and join the board. And so I would ask you to, as I close, help me honor an incredible career and an incredible representative and personal servant of the co-op, David Trogan. Yeah, he said, now shut up. All right, thank you very much for coming out today. I appreciate it.
Great job, Patrick. And thank you, David. Now it's my honor to announce the election results. Got them right here. This is what everyone, I think, has been waiting for. Actually, probably a lot of you who are still waiting are waiting for the prize drawings afterwards, I'm sure. And so I'll be pretty brief. I just want to remind everyone that there will be a prize drawing. So when I go to the portion where we're going to adjourn, if you're in the raffle, stick around. In District 2, Darren Bowles ran unopposed and received 945 votes, and so Darren is elected to a 3-year term. In District 3, Dustin Heath received 549 votes, Misty Skinner 633, so Misty Skinner is elected to a 3-year term. Congratulations, Misty. In District 9, Steve Stone received 721 votes, Mark Brown 517, Steve Stone is elected to another 3-year term. Proposition A, the yes votes are 767, no are 482. The yeses have it. Proposition A is passed. With that, I'm not aware of any unfinished business to be conducted. Last year, the board has made it a policy that any new business of substance should be given notice in advance so that it's fair to the people who vote, remotely or in advance. So I've been given no notice of any new business. So with that, without objection, we will be adjourned. Thank you.